Very good afternoon to all of you. Welcome you all in ISFCP dialogue series under the Aegis of IQAC-IIC ISFCP organized by ISF College of Pharmacy and Autonomous College Moga, Punjab. Today's guest and speaker is Sakshi Gupta and title of her talk is Emulsion, a Brief Overview. We welcome you ma'am in this dialogue series and you are requested to please proceed further.
Thank you, Dr. Siddharth Mehan. A very good morning to all of you. So, moving towards today's topic, that is emulsions, a brief overview. So, the contents of today's discussion are introduction about the emulsions, types of emulsions, tests for identification of type of emulsion, classification of emulsions, formulation of emulsions, the methods of preparation of emulsions, stability of emulsions, and finally the storage of emulsion. So, firstly, we are going to discuss about the introduction. What an emulsion is. Generally, emulsions are the biphasic liquid dosage form of medicament containing two immiscible liquids, one of which is dispersed as minute globules into the other. Here, the minute globules which are dispersed, those are known as dispersed phase, and in which liquid they are being dispersed, that liquid is known as continuous phase. So these immiscible liquids are made miscible with the addition of an emulsifying agent which forms a film around the globules in order to scatter them indefinitely in the continuous phase so that a stable emulsion is formed. Emulsions are generally taken orally or by parenteral route or by external or for external application and by rectal route also. The globule size in case of emulsions is very important as the globule size is very small that will avoid the gritty feeling to the skin and that will cover a greater area of the application. Moreover, it will also help the penetration of the medicament into the skin because its smaller globule size gives a faster rate of dissolution. The emulsions which are meant for parenteral administration that should have a globule size that can pass through the needle easily. Emulsions which are having large globules, those are known as porous emulsions. The emulsions which are having globule size of 5 micrometer are known as fine emulsions. The emulsions having globule size as small as 10 nanometer are known as microemulsions. So, moving towards the types of emulsion. There are several types of emulsions. The first one is oil in water type, next is water in oil type, and some other emulsions like oil in oil or water in oil in water. That is multiple emulsions. They also exist as well. So, what an oil in water type emulsion is? Oil in water. That means oil is here acting as a dispersed phase which is being dispersed as a minute globule in the continuous phase which is our water. Water here is the continuous phase. So, in case of oil in water type emulsions, we are using gum acacia and gum tragacan as a emulsifying agent. Next, here is the water in oil type emulsion. In case of water in oil type, what we are doing? Water is acting as a dispersed phase, which is being dispersed in the continuous phase, which is oil, right? In case of water in oil type emulsions, the emulsifying agent is beeswax or some wool fat, etc. Some other emulsions like oil in water in oil. In case of oil in water in oil, that means firstly oil globules are being dispersed in water particles, then this is further dispersed in oil phase, which is acting as a continuous phase, and vice versa. So next here is tests for the identification of type of emulsion. How do we people come to know that our prepared emulsion is oil in water type or water in oil type? There are some tests which are specified for the distinguishing between oil in water and water in oil type emulsion. The first test is dilution test. The next one is dye test, conductivity test, and fluorescence test. So, firstly, we will discuss about the dilution test. In dilution test, as the name indicates, we have to first dilute our prepared emulsion with water. And if the preparation is oil in water type, then it will remain stable upon the addition of water, right? And vice versa, because water is acting as a continuous phase, and upon addition of water there will be no disturbance. But in case of water in oil emulsion, if we are diluting it with water, that will get disturbed. The emulsion will become unstable. There will be complete phase separation. Oil and water will be separated. So this test will help us in distinguishing between the oil in water type and water in oil type emulsion. Next test is dye test. In case of dye test, we are using scarlet red dye. We will mix this scarlet dye with our emulsion. Then we will take one drop of the emulsion on a slide and cover it with cover slip and observe under the microscope. If the globules are red in color and the background is colorless, then the preparation is oil in water type, and vice versa, right? Next is conductivity test. Conductivity test means कि we are checking the conductivity. For performing the conductivity test, we have to take a pair of electrodes in which a small bulb is attached. By passing the electricity through the emulsion, the bulb should be switched on. If the bulb is switched on, that means water is in the continuous phase, that is passing the current, right? That means our preparation is oil in water type, and vice versa. Next is fluorescence test. Some of the fixed oils have the physical property of fluorescing in the ultraviolet radiations. So, upon observation of such kind of emulsions in the ultraviolet radiation, if the complete field is fluorescing, that means our preparation is water in oil type, right? And vice versa. So, these were some tests for the identification of the type of emulsion, whether it is water in oil type or oil in water type. So, moving towards the classification of emulsions, the emulsions are being classified in accordance to the type of their emulsifying agent used for the preparation and in accordance to their mode of administration. In case of emulsifying agent, we can classify on the basis of emulsifying agent used, like emulsions containing natural gums like gum acacia, gum tragacan, emulsions containing saponins, emulsions containing soaps, emulsions containing starch, etc. And according to their mode of administrations, there are some emulsions for oral administration like castor oil emulsion, emulsions for the parenteral administration like fat soluble vitamins, vitamin A, D, and E, and also the sex hormones are being introduced in the form of parenteral emulsion. And on the basis of mode of administration, there are some external application emulsions which are used on our skin. In case of skin preparations, we generally prefer oil in water type emulsion, right? And last one is rectal emulsions, which are used to administer in the form of enema, which is used for the treatment of constipation. So next we move on to the formulation of emulsion. For the formulation of emulsions, firstly we have to decide what kind of emulsifying agent we are going to use during the preparation of our emulsion. What emulsifying agent are doing here? What they are doing? They are actually reducing the interfacial tension between the two immiscible liquids. By acting like this, they will reduce the interfacial tension and make the immiscible liquids miscible, right? So emulsifying agents can be obtained from some vegetable sources like gum acacia and gum tragacan, from animal sources like agio, gelatin, wool fat, beeswax. These are some examples of the animal sources emulsifying agents, and semi-synthetic polysaccharides and synthetic emulsifying agents, inorganic emulsifying agents, and alcohols, and so on. And then we have to preserve the emulsion. We have to preserve it, like we have to retain its stability during its storage, right? For preservation of the emulsion, we have to add some preservatives also in In case of preservation, we will use methyl parabene and propyl parabene or benzoic acid. These are some of the examples of the preservatives that can be used to preserve the emulsions. Then we have to add some antioxidants to avoid the oxidation. And lastly, we will add some flavors like vanillin or benzaldehyde for the preparation of emulsions. Now, moving towards the preparation of emulsions. How these are being prepared? What methods we are using for the preparation of emulsions? There are some commonly used methods. The first one is dry gum method, wet gum method, bottle method, and some other methods are also used. The first one is dry gum method. What does here dry means? Dry means we have to keep each and every glassware before the preparation of emulsions dry, right? The glassware should be dried, the pestle mortar should be dried, the measurement should be taken in the dry equipments, right? So, in case of dry gum method, firstly we have to take the measured quantity of the oil and then weighed quantity of the gum. We have to mix them and triturate in the pestle mortar, right? And triturate it rapidly so that a uniform mixture is formed. Afterwards, we have to add the required amount of water and with vigorous trituration. After vigorous trituration, the clicking sound will be produced and the emulsion will become white and nearly white. At this point, we will come to know that our primary emulsion is ready now. And afterwards, we will add on the remaining amount of water, make up the final volume, dispense it, label it properly, right? So this was all about the dry gum method. But how can we come to know that what should be the ratio of oil, water and gum here? There are some specifications in which we have mentioned that oil, water and gum ratio should be like this. In case of, for example, in case of fixed oils, example is castor oil, the ratio of oil, water, gum is prescribed 4 is to 2 is to 1. What does it mean? If we are taking 4 ml of water oil, then we have to take 2 ml of the water and 1 gram of gum, right? So, in case of mineral oils, for example, liquid paraffin, we have to take the ratio of oil, water, and gum is 3 is to 2 is to 1. And in case of volatile oils, for example, peppermint oil, the ratio of oil, water, and gum is 2 is to 2 is to 1. Right? Next, moving towards the wet gum method. Here, the ratio of oil, water, and gum will be same, but the method will be changed. How? In case of wet gum method, firstly we will take gum and water together. We have to make a mucilage in the pestle mortar. Then we have to add the water. Then we have to add the oil, right? Then the preparation will produce the clicking sound and the preparation will become white and nearly white. The primary emulsion will be ready and then we have to add the remaining amount of the solvent, right? And next is bottle method. In case of bottle method, generally we use bottle method in case of volatile oils, right? Here we take the measured quantity of the oil in a large bottle and the measured quantity of the gum is placed in that and the bottle is shaken well, right? And afterwards we will add the measured quantity of the water at once and shake the bottle vigorously. The preparation will be ready. We have to label it, dispense it properly, right? Some other methods which are used for the preparation of emulsions may include hand homogenizer and silver sun mixer homogenizer. So next, moving towards the stability of emulsion. What does stability means? Stability means that the preparation we have prepared, the emulsion which we have prepared, should remain stable throughout the storage, right? That means the dispersed phase should be kept dispersed in the continuous phase the whole time, right? There should not be cracking, there should not be creaming, there should not be any kind of phase inversion. These are some three changes which are observed during the storage of an emulsion: cracking, creaming, and phase inversion. What may be the reasons behind these? There may be a reason that whether we have not taken the proper ratio of the oil, water, and gum. Maybe we have not taken the dried glassware by using the dry gum method. Maybe we have taken some wrong emulsifying agent during the preparation of oil and water preparation. So these are some reasons. There is an increase in temperature. So the emulsion should be stored accordingly to avoid such problems. So cracking, what cracking means? Cracking means the oil and water, both the phases will separate completely, right? This is known as cracking. And in creaming, what does happen? An upward movement of the globules, dispersed globules make an upward movement, they make a thick layer over there on the surface of the emulsion, and that will act as a cream like structure is formed, right? And this creaming is temporary, that can be redispersed easily upon shaking, but we should avoid to convert the creaming stage in the cracking stage, right? We should avoid that. The creaming stage should not convert to the cracking stage where the complete phase separation is there, where the complete oil and water phase get separated. The next is phase inversion. Phase inversion means कि water in oil type emulsion becomes oil in water type, and oil in water type emulsion becomes water in oil type. Means the phase has been inversed, right? So we should take care of avoiding such errors during the storage of an emulsion. So finally, we have to store the emulsions properly. For that, we have to take care of the containers, in which type of containers they should be stored, the labeling of the emulsions, and the storage condition. So if we talk about the containers should be used, amber colored containers should be used, and the wide mouth container should be there for oral preparations, so that we can take the measurement easily, right? And in labeling, we can consider that there should be a secondary label that shake well before use. We have to shake the emulsion before use, so that the dispersed phase get easily dispersed in the complete continuous phase, right? Next is the storage conditions. We have to generally store it at cool place and protected from sunlight. That's why we are keeping them in the amber colored bottles. So this was all about the emulsions. These are some references I have discussed, and thank you.
Thank you, Sakshi Madam, for this wonderful information. We highly appreciate your concern regarding the basic knowledge about the emulsion. And listeners, if you have any query, please inbox in the chat box of YouTube, and please visit our website www.isfcp.org. We thanks again. Thanks to